Am I the asshole for refusing my birthday gift because it was a Weight Watchers subscription?
Hi Reddit. I turned 18, female, yesterday, but it seems to caused a bit of drama in my family, so I am asking for honest, objective opinions on whether I am wrong.
I'm using a throwaway account because this situation is obviously very humiliating for me. For reference, my weight has always been made fun of in my family.
My aunt specifically has always been very unkind and fat-shamed me, even when I was younger and struggling with my body image. She used to tell me that my clothes looked so small on me, and that even her clothes are probably small for me.
She used to remind me to go on diets constantly. I am currently 320 pounds if it adds contexts too. I hadn't seen my aunt in a while, and for the most part one was really glad to see her for my birthday. I was slightly dreading if she would say anything to me because I am aware I have gained a lot of weight since I last saw her, but she just made a few comments, so I thought it was the end of it. I was opening a birthday card she gave me a few hours later, and it had money in it, with a note that said, "Money for Weight Watchers, make some real change for once." This was humiliating, and I asked her about it, and she said that she could tell I was miserable and that I probably look really good underneath the fat. She said this in front of my parents, and it was very embarrassing. I told her I am not accepting the gift and she's making me look stupid, but she said that she was just worried for me and my health. I don't believe this. She's made fun of my weight for years, even before I was a teenager. But my parents think I was overreacting and I should have just accepted it. My aunt has a notoriously big mouth and my parents think she's going to tell our whole family, so they're getting kind of worried about what I've done. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, absolutely not the asshole. She has amply applied salt in the wound for a decade. Consider. I considered buying you an award for sustaining lack of tact and body shaming for 10+ years, but instead I'll return your gift so you can buy something to preoccupy your thoughts and actions, since I'm no longer accepting your shaming insults. Or, I donated your birthday money gift to a local animal shelter because dogs have more empathy than you. Come on, sub. What else could op state?
As a fat person myself at 295 pounds, I am aware I'm overweight.
People don't need to bring it to my attention. I'm petty enough I'd mail back the card, with the money and note telling her to go to hell and not to bother with me anymore. I'd rather have nothing than her constant judgment. Not the asshole. For your aunt's next birthday you should hand her a card with a voucher for therapy inside, with a little note that says, "Voucher for therapy. Learn how not to be an asshole." If you wanted to join Weight Watchers and she wanted to support you with money, and she did it privately, then that would helping you. To do this in front of your parents was not the way to do it. Not the asshole for calling her on it. Good luck to you in your future.
Not the asshole that wasn't a gift, that was an insult with a bow on top.
Not the asshole. I'm so sorry, op.
No one should be shamed like this. My mother fat shamed me under the guise of caring about my health for decades.
I finally melted down at her and told her that my weight was off limits. I would hang up the phone if she started in on it. I lived about 1,000 miles and 3 states away from my sanity. After years of therapy I finally lost 115 pounds.
But I only ever gained weight when she was up my butt about it.
I'm still heavy, but I'm not ashamed of my body anymore. I had to find the grace to love myself fat before I could lose any weight, and keep it off.
Op. I'm not saying, lose weight, your journey is yours and yours alone. What I will say, love yourself, and do not take the shame others try to give you.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for coffee? My sister-in-law was on her way to my house for a family road trip. She said she was stopping at Starbucks for coffee, and I said get me a hot coffee. She said she's getting me an iced coffee because it's too hot to be drinking hot coffee. I said no. I don't like iced coffee. Get me a hot one. She showed up with two iced coffees. Honestly, I'm not a morning person, and I couldn't be bothered to argue, so I said it's fine. She handed it me and I told her I'm not drinking that. In the car she asked me to Venmo her for the coffee. I said why would I do that? She said because I got coffee for you. Well, OBV, it wasn't for me, so I said so. Now she's mad and honestly I don't care. My mom says I should send the money. My dad and brother, however, said I'm not in the wrong. Update. I still haven't paid for it, nor am I planning to. She's being super passive-aggressive, but that's her personal problem. It's just coffee. I've no problem paying $8 for it, but I think it's a weird power play thing she does, and thinking back on it, I've seen her do subtle things like this all time.
Her and my brother had a huge fight about it, which is absurd, but I overheard him telling her to stop, expect everyone to bend to her, and she threatened to leave, so he said when we get back home she can pack her things and go back to her dad's house. So yeah, things went left pretty quickly. Cold sweat smile.
Not the asshole.
You requested hot coffee, stated explicitly that you don't like iced coffee, and she gets you an iced coffee because she thinks she knows your taste better than you do, and now she wants you to pay for the coffee you didn't want?
No, you asked for a hot coffee. You should get a hot coffee, and then pay for that. I don't care if it's 115 degrees in the shade, you want to drink hot coffee, that's your choice. And I agree, cold coffee is very unappealing, at best. I'd just never ask her to pick up a coffee for you again.
Not the asshole. She purposely got you something you didn't like. Why should you have to pay for it?
No, I wouldn't pay her.
Just out of principle to not encourage that kind of behavior. Not the asshole. I wouldn't pay for something I specifically said I didn't want.
Not the asshole.
You told her what you wanted, she got you what you said you didn't want.
She owes you the apology, not the other way around.
Not the asshole. You said you didn't want an iced coffee and she brought you one anyway. Who does that?
What the fuck is wrong with people? I'd like a steak. I got you an apple, you owe me. Am I the asshole for denying help for a lady I know?
Hello Reddit.
Background. I am part of a non-profit charity organization that helps people to fix their homes.
When I was a kid, I liked the TV show, Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and as an adult, when I had enough resources, I decided to do something similar myself, but without cameras, rushing, and fake reactions. As I own a construction company, the main part one provide is leftovers from building sites, but we also have multiple other members who contribute their time, money, or resources. Our main focus is people who need better living standards, like hot water, and a bathroom with running water, or just heating, as things like that can be too expensive for single parents, disabled people, or seniors.
Often we help families whose home was damaged in an accident, fire, flood, etc., and they lack resources to fix it. Insurance companies often don't cover old buildings in bad shape, but people in need often live in buildings like that. What happened? One day our organization received an email about a fire in an apartment building, and the name of the person in need was familiar. It was the best friend of my ex. Let's call her Ruby. So I wrote to her and found out that a robot vacuum cleaner exploded in her apartment and started a fire. The whole apartment needs rebuilding, as like many newer apartment buildings, the walls inside the apartment are mostly drywall, and fire and extinguishing after it destroyed pretty much everything inside. For whatever reason, she had no insurance. The neighbor downstairs whose home was flooded had insurance. The neighbor upstairs whose home had smoke damage had insurance. And even the building itself had insurance. So the facade and windows will get replaced, but the building insurance does not cover anything inside the apartment. At first, it sounded like a great candidate for help. But I know Ruby. I know that she owns another apartment she inherited and rents out. So I asked about that. Couldn't you sell it? Move there? She replied, I don't want to lose my passive income. I replied, sorry, but we help people who have nothing. We help people who have no passive income that could be used for resolving the problems. All members can call for veto when the reason is good, as people sometimes try to scam us. And even though she is not scamming us, I believe she is not the target group of people who need charity. Members rarely question the reasons, as the list of people that need help is long. And this was when the crap storm started. My ex called me and blamed me that I denied her friend help because of our history. My mailbox is flooded with people who call me an asshole for denying help to people in need. Someone even wrote that, you are playing God. Is it wrong to deny charity to a person who could just sell her another real estate, move there, or even rent with money she makes from renting out that other place? Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You're not obligated to help anyone who has alternative means to fix their problems. Your charity's purpose is to assist those with no financial resources, and Ruby's situation doesn't fit that criteria. Not the asshole. She has resources available to replace her things. She isn't responsible for repairing the building. She could have used some of her passive income to buy renter's insurance. As you said, the list of people who genuinely need help is long. My hot water heater died yesterday. I've been trying to get it going myself, with YouTube. It's tankless so it's not cheap to service or replace. I'm pretty strapped for cash right now but the truth is I have options. Family members who could help, etc. I'm not making a GoFundMe and trying to shake people down. I think you're not the asshole, but I'm curious. Had Ruby been a stranger, would you have found out about the other apartment and the passive income? In the application process, was there a place to disclose that, and did she omit it?
Because if it's not part of the application, she is kind of being disadvantaged compared to other applicants who may also have additional resources. But if she omitted it from the application and there was a spot to disclose it, then you're just calling her out on a lie. Either way though, you're right to get the help to the people who really need it.
She's a landlord, she does not need charity, not the asshole. End of story. As someone who works for charities, I believe what you should have done is declared a conflict of interest and passed the case on to a colleague with a handover of notes including the fact she owns another property and let your colleague make the decision. She is not your classic, they need help, group. She can get a mortgage on this. If needs are dire, you can offer to restore the house as in paid order. The house and rent could work as in guarantee. Am I the asshole for not wearing a bra in my apt when the repairman came? Am I the asshole for not wearing a bra in my own house?
My husband is mad at me because we had a repairman come to look at our couches and I was wearing a t-shirt, which wasn't in the least bit see-through by the way, with no bra but I had on pants. He says that even if the shirt wasn't see-through that you can still see them, my breasts, sitting in the shirt. I'm a large-chested woman and hiding them is literally impossible. He says that through the shirt you can still see them jiggling and the nipple.
I said that's insane that I'm supposed to wear a bra just because someone is coming into the house. That's a stranger, especially because I was fully covered by my shirt, there was zero cleavage showing. Also to add for context, I currently breastfed our youngest child who's still an infant. Being braless at home makes this much easier for me and the repair guy was here maybe 10 minutes max. So am I the asshole? What's wrong with someone knowing you have breasts? Why should you try to hide them? People are so weird. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Female human has the audacity to exist with female anatomy in their own dwelling. Female human dresses modestly yet practically in order to feed infant human.
How can your husband turn this into a drama?
Of course not the asshole. You wouldn't have been in any case, but that. Context: I currently breastfed our youngest child who's still an infant. Being braless at home makes this much easier for me and the repair guy was here maybe 10 minutes max. Just makes your husband doubly so. Does he know that even when you wear a bra you can still see the hutch bunnies sitting in your shirt? He also doesn't actually get a say. You never have to tie back the titties for anyone but yourself, especially not in your own home. Bras suck. I promise the repairman did not care.
They, and delivery people, get pretty desensitized to far wilder sights, so your untethered girlies and their chilly weather buttons wouldn't have even registered.
Not the asshole. Edit: you're breastfeeding too? Peeved. Your husband can stuff his insecurity and over-controlling opinions right up his nostril. Them lunch ladies need to breathe. Wow, your husband has some insecurities. I literally have nothing else to say because your perspective is so rational and his perspective is so skewed. Not the asshole. Were they repairing your bra? If not, not the asshole.